Om Swastiastu. Hello, good evening. Welcome to English class for Architecture Department students of Science and Technology faculty in Ngurah Rai University today. This is our second second meeting, and today we will learn about geometry in architecture. But first, have you done your homework? Have you complete your tasks by sending me the draft CV, curriculum vitae, and introduction by video in the Google Classroom? I hope you do, because it will be counted as a mark for your English classes. So why do we as an architect need to learn about geometry, especially geometry in architecture? Because architecture discipline is begin with geometry. You cannot create a building without geometry. Since the earliest time, architects have relied on mathematical principles on completing their jobs. You can see all around you that geometry in architecture is very reliable. You can find it everywhere that buildings are made by geometrical shapes and form. Geometry in architecture is very related with math discipline, with mathematical principle that you have to learn, you have to obtain to achieve this kind of building is by learning simple math. Geometry is also considered as a mathematical study of shapes. In this illustration, you can see there are many shapes in the building that's surrounding us that use geometrical discipline. So you have triangle, you have circles, you have a rectangle, and you have square. Is the first shapes of geometry. So there are two-dimensional shapes. Like I said before, we have rectangular, we have square, we have triangle, we have pentagon, and we have circle. But we also have three-dimensional form. So the difference between two-dimensional and three-dimensional is two-dimensional is called shape and three-dimensional is called form. We have cylinder, we have cubicle, and we have and many other kind of form. For Vitruvius, for without symmetry and proportion, no temple can have a regular plan. According to Vitruvius, that you as an architect have to study about symmetry and proportion to become a good architect, to become a good planner. Since the ancient civilization, from the Mesopotamian cradle of civilization in Sumerian temple, geometry is used in their temples. You can see that from Sumerian temple and to Aztec in Middle America, the geometric form of pyramid is used consistently. Also in Egypt, for the famous Great Pyramid of Giza, the Tomb of Pharaohs is also used the pyramid. This is what we obtain the name of pyramid. The modern pyramid is the geometrical form is also used in the modern pyramid in the Versailles Museum in Paris. You can watch it on the G-Code film. We also have the Greece architecture, the Pertemuan architecture, in Athens that use golden ratio or mathematical discipline to conduct their architecture. So it's a golden ratio with a proportion that is being used by Vitruvian man or Vitruvius before. We have also Greek theater, also using the same mathematical or geometric form also. And we have the Colosseum, the most important Roman amphitheater that was used for gladiator contests and public spectacles. The Colosseum is also using the high precision of geometric form and shapes. The same principle for the ancient Rome for Colosseum is also used in many football stadiums today all around the world. The same principle for geometric form and shapes also. Taj Mahal Mausoleum in India is one of the geometric discipline that is used the reflection of symmetry. So Taj Mahal is the perfect example for the perfect symmetry. The left and the right is the same. So is the Versailles Palace. It's the symbol of absolute monarchy and ancient regime. Also adapt the symmetry discipline. Polygons is another definition for geometric. Polygons forms, and the plan is used for the United States Department of Defense or Pentagon, and also adopted by Karlovac cities that is using the form of polygons in their city plan. In some modern buildings, geometric form can be seen everywhere. You can see the gherkin shapes, the gherkin form from the London, and so in London you can see the gherkin. You can see the gherkin. You can see the London Parliament, and you can see the London Eye. They all have the different geometric form, but they have their own identity also. So it's in Dubai, rectangular or rotational solids is everywhere in Dubai. They have their own identity also. And then we have the piano house in China, the symbol of violin and piano for the building is inspired by the violin and the piano also. They are the longest bridges in France, the Millau Viaduct, that has a very distinctive shapes, that is triangle shape, and some other building that is inspired from the shapes and form of geometric. You cannot separate shapes and form from buildings, from geometrics and architecture also. So from all the buildings that I have been displayed for you, what do you think makes this building look interesting, to make it distinct from the other? What makes it eye-catching? What makes it beautiful in front of you? I think you know the answer because it's our topic for today. What makes this building look interesting? In my opinion, because they have their own distinct, they have their own style of geometric form. So they are different from the other, but they are different is not making them odd or very or funny, but the difference of their geometric form and shapes makes them have their own identity. So it's your task as an architect to create building that has geometric forms, but it's not funny or art also. So I have this 3 of illustration for kids. The one is Arc de Triomphe on France, and the others in Athens. And you know, from geometric standard, there are couple of geometric form and shapes that is we usually connected with that kind of shapes with some kind of function. In these 3 kind of similar geometric form, can you guess what type of building are these? Yeah, there are 3 kind of pictures, and they have the similar function, they have the similar form. Can you associate this kind of form with their function? If you guess it's a castle, if you guess it's a fort, then you are correct. This kind of geometric form is associated with a fort or a castle. So they have their bulky geometric form. They have this kind of towering buildings that indicates that they are protecting what it is inside. Okay, what about this one? This one is a picture that that create detail. Can you guess what kind of building that accumulate this kind of pictures? It's a temple. Yeah, so it's this kind of architecture also. So we have Sagrada Familia in Spain that have 2 of the buildings are Sagrada Familia, and they are used as a church, and the other one in below is the apartment complex. There are 3 of them are designed by Antoni Gaudi. It's a Spanish architect that have distinctive style. He has a distinctive style that have a detailing ornament on his architecture. So we have these 3 buildings, 3 pictures of buildings that using the same ornament in the top, but have the different function. This is a gate, and this is a museum, and this is a castle. This is a fountain in front of a castle, but they have the similar ornament in the top of it. Some of the principle for the modern architecture is God is in the details. So the credo for detailing in the earliest architecture is left behind for when modern architecture is coming to us. So the credo is now God is in the details, by according to Louis Mies van der Rohe. But can you guess so we have a building that full of stones and rock, and we have a detailing, and the one is full of glasses. You see this one building have half of glasses and half of wood, and the other has like a kind of this deconstruction style. But actually the 4th of this building, all 4 of them is having the same function. Can you guess what it is? For all of them, they are as a hospital. So you cannot guess what the building is from outside the building, and the building identity can be seen from outside, is it a good sign of architecture or is it a bad architecture? Because when I learn about architecture, the thing is you should create the function for your building from outside so that people can know what is your building function is. But when all of them have a different geometric form and structure, but have the same function and you cannot show it, so I think it's a it's a setback for architect, because it should be form follow function. So what is the geometric form of your building should show it, you can show it the function of it. It's like these three pictures also. They are the same East Asian typological housing, but they came from 3 different Asian countries. One is from Korea, the other from China, and the other is from Japan. They are similar, but they came from different country. Can you guess which one is China, or which one is Korea, which one is Japan? So the function is the same, the geometric form and shape is also similar, but because of their location, because of their inhabitant, who's living there is different, they create different kind of architecture also. So this one is from Korea, this one is from China, and the other one is from Japan. The architecture is creating new kind of geometric form because of the environment, because who is living there. And even though they came from the same East Asian, or they have the same material, or they have the same function, but at the end they have a different form of geometric. Okay, like this another case study that I have been followed, that there are 4 kind of buildings that they have similar shapes, but they have different function. Can you guess their function is? This one, this Basilica Saint Peter, is where the Pope is living. So it's a church, and the other is Taj Mahal. It's a cemetery and a museum. The other is the Congress of United States, and the last is a mosque in Turkey. So they have the same kind of shapes, but they have different functions. So shape can be considered as describing the function also. You cannot push the same shapes to become the same function. Like this one also, they have the same function, but they have the different form. The force of all 4 of my picture have a different form, but they have the same function. They all are mosques for praying, for Islamic for praying. They all are a mosques. They have a different form also, but they have the same function. It's the same with my previous example for the hospital that have a different form but have the same function before. Is another one, same form but different function. They have a towering landmark but they have a different function. The activity that is considered in the building is different. You have the different function, but the same shape also. So where is geometric is basically on how is geometric is affecting us as a planner, as a creator of a building, to make a building that can be seen from outside, can be seen the function from outside, but like this kind of another picture that I have been found, that Pertemuan in Athens and the White House has the same characteristic of pillars, Greek pillars in front of them, but has a different meaning, but they have different function. So why do we have to learn about form follow function? So form follow function is being a credo that is being based by phenomenology, that buildings are built following this principle, which suggests that the shape of a building or space should be based upon the intent, function, or purpose. That how do you create a geometric form? By inserting their function first. So the first thing is the function, and then the form has to follow it. Whereas function follow form gives a building or a space a more unique shape and form while still serving the same purpose and function as a building built following the form follow function principle. Again, I must remind you that as an architect, what do you design is only based on their function. So the form that is created after the function is have a very distinctive, very unique form that is not used by another function. So I think I have it today for today's meeting. Today you have learned about the difference between shapes and forms, and how the principle of form follow function have changed the architecture around the world, and we should not leave the function principle for geometric standard only. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoy. I hope you understand my English. I'll see you again next week.